Hello everyone, this is Aryan Thakkar, your coach and mentor, and welcome back to my YouTube channel on ARYAN Tutorials, where in this video we are going to deal with Act 5 Scene 2 of Macbeth. But before you get going, I want to request you that if you haven't watched my detailed explanation video, or if you haven't even been through your text, then immediately stop. First, go through the text or watch my detailed video and then come back to this revision video on Act 5 Scene 2 of Macbeth, where Act 5 Scene 2 in particular gives us the public opinion of the Scottish nobles and aristocrats who consider Macbeth. They consider Macbeth as a dwarfish thief in a giant's robe. In other words, dwarfish thief in a giant robe conveys that they consider Macbeth to be misfit of a ruler. They label Macbeth as a tyrant very explicitly, very directly, very openly, and they consider Malcolm to be that of a drug, to be that of a medicine who will come and restore the moral and the social order of their diseased country. ठीक है? Talking about the key analysis, Act 5 Scene 2 shows that nobles, finally the Scottish nobles have decided to abandon Macbeth, where his power is now crumbling. Crumbling means it is collapsing, and opposing forces, that is Malcolm, who is leading the English army, are uniting under Malcolm, and the prophecy of Birnam Wood is about to be fulfilled. And the end of tyranny is imminent. Imminent means it is at hand, it is approaching, it is near. At the same time, Malcolm is considered as the cure to the sick country, where Malcolm is that medicine for their sick state, and Malcolm has a healing power. So, a contrast between Macbeth as a ruler and Malcolm as a ruler is very important. You should be preparing your answer pertaining to that. I think that has already come in the 25 board examination. That doesn't mean you will not prepare, because MCQ and give reason can always be asked. So be aware of that. Okay? Now, talking about a quick summary of this particular scene, this scene takes place somewhere near the countryside, close to Dunsinane, where all the English nobles and the Scottish noble, they come together in unanimity. Unanimity yani they come together in collaboration, they make an alliance, and they come together with a motive, with a common agenda to depose Macbeth from this illegitimate position. The characters highlighted in this particular scene are Monteith, Caithness, Angus, and Lennox, where they openly label Macbeth as a tyrant, as a misfit to be a ruler of Scotland. And at the same time, they talk about Macbeth's present condition, where they say Macbeth is already trapped in Dunsinane, and although he is trying to defend himself, but has actually lost real support, because a lot of people have left his side and they have aligned themselves with Malcolm, who is approaching to heal the country. Now, in this particular scene, I already said that English forces and Scottish rebels यानी जो लोग विद्रोह, revolt करना चाहते हैं, they have come together unanimously. In other words, they have made an alliance together. ठीक है? They come together with a common purpose. They come together with a common purpose, led by Malcolm and Seward alongside Macduff as well. In सब के निगरानी में, निर्देश में, they are coming together so that they can depose Macbeth. ठीक है? They can depose Macbeth. So although Macbeth attempts to appear strong externally, outwardly he's trying to appear strong, but everybody knows that his power is actually hollow, and he is incapable of saving himself from his doomed destiny. ठीक है? So, decision here is to meet Malcolm forces near Birnam Wood for the final confrontation and the battle. Now, talking about critical analysis, all these Scottish noble, that is aristocrat, you can use this word in your answer, aristocrats, they label Macbeth as a tyrant. This shows that Macbeth is now politically finished. All his peers and all his camaraderies and all those people who should have been by his side is actually has isolated him. So that makes his power hollow. His power is going simultaneously with hollowness and with isolation. ठीक है? Now, at the same time, all these noble, they serve as the architect's daughter. Now, what is an architect daughter? Architect daughter का reference होता है. Architect daughter किसको बोला जाता है? Basically, gallows को. आई होप आपको गैलोस पता होगा, जो आपने पोर्टर सीन किया था वहां पे भी गैलोस का रेफरेंस आया था. गैलोस वो जगह है जहां पे किसी भी गिल्टी criminal को death sentence दिया जाता है by hanging the person to death. That is gallows. So they come together with a motive of acting as the architect's daughter, that is a gallows, so that they can penalize Macbeth for his crimes and his sins and his past deed. Now, talking about critical analysis over here, Macbeth ka power is nothing, just an illusion, just a bhram, because he has been isolated by his own people, and that isolation will become his own weakness, which is going to consume him later in the play, and which will make him a tragic figure or a tragic hero. Although Macbeth has a crown, but he has no legitimacy. Legitimacy means he has no rights to be fit of a ruler, and therefore people have started to abandon him. Although over here authority is more stronger of a force, as you can see, so there are some people who are following Macbeth's orders and instruction, but out of compulsion, because they are knit means they are tied to the throne of Scotland and not to Macbeth. And then there are some people who are genuinely loyal. All these characters which are shown in this particular scene, that is Monteith, Caithness, Angus, Lennox, all these epitomizes, they stand as a perfect example of loyalty, where they want to go and align themselves with the rightful heir to the throne of Scotland, that is Malcolm. ठीक है? So over here Shakespeare highlights the difference between authority and true loyalty through these nobles and all those people who are following Macbeth's orders out of compulsion. Now, at the same time, Macbeth is considered here as a sickness, as a weakness, as the architect's daughter. So all these nobles who are coming together, they are coming with a purpose so that they can heal their country of this sick tyrant who is just causing decay onto their country. So theme is tyranny is just a moral disease, which is highlighted through Macbeth in this particular scene, which needs to be healed ASAP, as soon as possible. And at the same time, there is a very famous line where they say we need to drown the weeds and dew the sovereign flower. So that sovereign flower is Malcolm, and weed is considered as Macbeth, who needs to be plucked out of Scotland. Please remember that. At the same time, audience gets the hint of Birnam Wood to move, because they are going to go and meet Malcolm and the English forces in the Birnam Wood. At the same time, in the later scene, we already know that Malcolm is going to offer a military strategy to each of the soldier, where they are supposed to cut a branch of the Birnam and use it as a camouflage to conceal their actual numbers. So Birnam Wood will move, Macbeth's confidence will collapse eventually. The scene builds tension before Act 5's climax. ठीक है? Now, talking about critical analysis, where medicine का imagery has been used to highlight. See, I have very beautiful way में एक prescription के through आपको समझाया है. Basically, over here, patient name is Scotland. Their country is sick. उनका देश है जो कि sick है, and diagnosis is tyranny and infection which needs to be removed. Cause is Macbeth over here. And what is the prescription? Who is that medicine? Malcolm is that medicine. So Scotland is treated here as a patient, where Malcolm is the cure, is the medicine who can heal this particular country. At the same time, talking about the character sketch of these aristocrats and noble, where Monteith, Caithness, Angus and Lennox, they all come in unison. Unanimously, they collaborate together and they represent the political conscience, that is the moral order of Scotland. They show courage in rebellion. They are the one who openly oppose Macbeth, and they do not want to go and follow his instructions any further. Their unity proves that Macbeth's tyranny is unbearable. ठीक है? And country needs to be preserved and saved. At the same time, Angus basically is the key voice, and Macbeth over here is the indirect presence. Although he is not physically present here, but a lot of things are being spoken about Macbeth in particular by these aristocrats, especially by Angus, where he exposes Macbeth's weakness, saying that he cannot command love, only obedience through fear. So basically, he can impose his power through instructions and obedience to those people who are actually tied to the throne, or they are compelled to follow his instruction, and nobody follows his instruction out of their honest or genuine love. Rather, Macbeth is indirectly present here, where they consider Macbeth to be of a tyrant who is paranoid, who is isolated, who is desperate, and his reign, his kingship, his rule is actually collapsing. Now, talking about the particular themes over here, tyranny's versus legitimate rule, where Macbeth is a tyrant and Malcolm is the hope of a lawful kingship. Rebellion and justice, Scotland rises unanimously together to restore, and not ambition, rather rebellion is morally justified here. They have cause in their purpose which will lead them to win the war against Macbeth. And illusion versus reality, although Macbeth's strength is in performance, but in reality he is actually abandoned. Although he thinks that he has taken charge and taken care of everything, but he doesn't know that he's actually isolated by his own allies. At the same time, Macbeth is considered as a disease which needs to be healed immediately, where Scotland is sick and Macbeth is the cause and Malcolm is the cure over here. And fate and prophecy, Birnam Wood is repeatedly referenced here, so that in the next scene, the Birnam Wood will indeed move. Prophecy is approaching towards its fulfillment, fulfilling that the dark entities only work against in favor. Your understanding against in favor का मतलब होता है कि कभी भी evil energies आपके favor में perform नहीं करती, आपके खिलाफ and आपके downfall का ही कारण बनती है. Echoing Banquo's words as spoken earlier, that oftentimes these dark energies, they wrap half told truths in a manner so that they can trick us in the end. That is important. ठीक है? Talking about some of the key quotation that you definitely should incorporate in your answers are: the tyrants people on both sides do fight. Macbeth's soldiers fight without loyalty in Scotland is divided now. Those he commands move only in command, nothing in love, and Macbeth cannot inspire devotion any further. At the same time, now does he feel that his title is hanging loose upon him like that of a giant's robe upon a dwarfish thief. In other words, he is misfit of a ruler. And note that Macbeth is unworthy of being a king anymore. We will meet with the Malcolm and Macduff at Birnam Wood. That is a direct link to the prophecy. That is, Malcolm is very soon going to offer that military strategy of camouflage. Now, what are the lines that you should use in your answer? It is that Macbeth's political isolation, collapse of legitimacy is portrayed here. Tyranny is showcased as a disease infecting Scotland. Noble's unity is basically a moral awakening. Hollow command unsupported by love. And rope ka imagery, basically Macbeth is considered as an unworthy usurper. Usurper means basically who exploits their own country for their personal benefit or gain. And Birnam Wood references build tension and rebellion is rising, it is brewing, which is an inevitable justice for Macbeth. Inevitable का मतलब हो गया inescapable, कि Macbeth को हरा के ही justice को वापस से स्थापित किया जाएगा स्कॉटलैंड में. Act 5 Scene 2 conclusion is: Act 5 Scene 2 portray Macbeth as a dwarfish thief drowning in isolation, while Scotland gathers around Malcolm as the rightful cure to the tyranny. So I hope this video helps, and if you're liking the way I'm teaching, do let me know in the comment section below. And if you need any further assistance, then that too let me know in the comment section below. Till then, keep loving, keep watching, keep subscribing. I'll see you in my next video. Take care. Bye-bye.